this is some good news. I know everybody's been through Beryl, and we've had a lot of people probably still without power, but let me tell you that Camp for All still functioned. Campers were still going and blowing and having the time of their lives. So this month we are celebrating Disability Pride Month, and it's the 34th anniversary of the American with Disabilities Act. And why is that important? Well, that's important because they are citizens, they are beautiful, incredible people, they provide gifts to this world, they have skills beyond sometimes what skills that we have, and they contribute to life for everyone. So we need to make sure that they are a part of our lives in the everyday sense and not just on the side. And so how do we make our world inclusive? How do we make our world welcoming? How do we, little things like moving your guest car seat back far enough so somebody can have an easier way to climb in a car. That's just thinking it through. There's so many ways that we can make people with disabilities and challenges welcome and a part of our lives, and I think that's what's important. And I think the act itself got everybody thinking in those terms.
The idea of camp being barrier-free was really instilled from the very first meeting. It was really important because most of the camps had very poor accessible features at that time. I realized that when we started this project, it was right at the point in time, it was just before the ADA was officially passed as legislation. So this was all very new. We as architects had been charged with creating certain accessible features within buildings, but it really wasn't an ethos of accessibility. So it was really coming at a time when all of this was really starting. Guidelines like the ADA and other federal legislations were picked up by states, and all of them have different criteria. Some of them overlap, some of them are vastly different. So what we were trying to do was pick through a lot of those things and find the best situation for what was being described by the camps. And what we soon learned was that we needed more space for attendants to help adults and our children. We needed space for wheelchairs that were becoming more motorized versions at that point in time, so they were bulkier. There were all these things that were being developed at that time for a group of people that we really hadn't, as architects, experienced focusing on before. And so it was a very interesting process to learn more about what barriers they faced. And so you come into looking at the plan that you're doing with different eyes, and you're cognizant of those things. And even to this day, that takes a lot of effort, because there are certain things you do and you think, I'm not creating a barrier, but you can be. And so we're constantly checking ourselves, we're asking questions. So it's really a lot of feedback from people who have the experience. We're working with reviewers, our official reviewers. We're working with camp personnel. So it's a constant tuning, and it will never end because there's always going to be some different challenge that we need to meet. We all came together in our office to discuss what an ideal camp would be like. And in doing that, we came up with a vision for a Camp for All, and all we needed was land, and we accomplished all of that in pretty short order for something that began from nothing. So from the idea to the start of construction was about 3.5 or so years. When Camp for All opened, the very first summer, it was the end of a really incredible journey to get to that point. I can't express how pleased I was that we had accomplished something that I thought in my mind was somewhat of a dream at first, to know that the people that became involved with camp worked together to do all of the things that were required to make this thing happen in such an efficient and wonderful way was just incredible. Being at the opening, there were just hundreds of people there, and there's a photograph of me popping a cork in a champagne bottle that I still have near my desk from that day. I carry that day with me all the time.
Programming, facilities, concept, language, all of these things are things that we now take into every single aspect of Camp for All that we move forward. We don't move forward very fast because we put a lot of thought into making sure that we're meeting all the requirements of the people that we serve.